Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to This Month Tonight with John Gagnon, featuring special guests from the Zolas, Zach Gray, and stand-up comedians Peter Hudson and Ryan Lachance, and your favorite sidekick, Robert Peng, and this month tonight band, Mr. Damien Walsh. Now please welcome to the stage, Mr. John Gagnon.
Stuff going on, okay? China developed a missile that can travel across the Earth and strike its target with accuracy.
Oh, baby!
That's right. Russia has developed an armor that can stop 50 caliber bullets. And here in Canada, we are developing Timbits with Justin Bieber. Some more China news. China's always in the news, aren't they, Ty?
Yeah, they definitely are. They definitely are.
They're like the Kanye West of countries, you know? If they're not in the news, they do something dramatic. Okay, so China at the Olympics are submitting a men's hockey team, and they're going to be competing against Canada. People are excited because both teams will be mostly Canadians using equipment mostly from China. Do I get any Taylor Swift fans in the audience? Yeah, we got some Swifties in here. T. Swift released a new song about her breakup with Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, in response, Jake is re-releasing a 10-hour version of Brokeback Mountain. The uncut version. Or cut, I don't know what Ang Lee is doing now. Do I have any Armageddon fans in the crowd? 1998 film? So older, 6 of you are old enough? Well, the other 58 are gonna love this. This is actually a true story. So Elon Musk and NASA are teaming up to send a rocket out into space to strike an asteroid that is coming directly at the Earth. When asked what the odds are of actually hitting the asteroid, Elon Musk said, "I don't want to miss a thing." Even the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe. Oh yes, this is another good one if you're born at least 40 years ago. Well, Osama bin Laden's in the news. A new report was released that he has 25 to 30 children out there. When George Bush found out, he was like, "No wonder I couldn't find him. I thought he would have never pulled out from that cave." He had weapons of mass reproduction. A store owner in northern British Columbia who fired their employee for refusing to have sex with him was ordered to pay $99,000 to the lady. Yeah, so in the end, she did screw him. That was an expensive one for sure. I wonder if he offered her $99,000 if it would be a different. Let's not go down that path. Sesame Street is in the news. They introduced a new Asian character named Ji Young. In order to finish this punchline, I'd like to bring him to the stage. Let's bring our awesome sidekick, Mr. Robert Peng.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, you couldn't finish your own joke, Don.
I couldn't.
By the way, Ji Yang's Korean. I'm Chinese. I'll finish it, but you know.
No one will know.
They will. They can tell based on my facial features and stuff.
You wrote this joke.
Hey, don't spoil it.
All right. Robert Peng, everybody.
All right. There's a new character on Sesame Street named Ji Yang, the first Asian Muppet. Can you hold it up? I can see.
You wrote the joke.
Yeah. In unrelated news, Big Bird's nest has been demolished to make way for luxury condos.
And that's the monologue, guys. Keep it going with the TMT band. So I just want to talk to you guys about what it's like to work with Robert Peng. I mean, I've toured with him, all over the province. And I told him what a great idea it would be if he brought Justin Bieber's new Timbits to the show, and we could try them out. How great would that have been, right?
Yeah.
This is what he brought. McDonald's mini donuts. This is what it's like to work with Robert Peng. That's
The gym order was full. It was too many people. I don't want to wait in line. You can use the app. The guy bring it to the car. It's crazy. It saves so much time. I could have played Halo a lot. The time I got those Timbits, and then like I don't know which was Justin Bieber donuts. Timbits? Is that what?
Well, they're the ones in the news.
I don't watch the news. That's not filled with Chinese propaganda. Well, by the way, way to get me killed with the first two jokes, right? Like, way to open up with Chinese jokes that are like state secrets that you're just releasing into the public.
No one in China is watching this show.
Yeah.
So Robert, this is our second show. It was funny, we were driving and I said, hey Robert, what do you think we should do to make the show better? And he said, what do we need to do? And he said, what do I need to do to make my character better? I don't give a shit about your show.
Yeah.
I just want to look better. So what were your thoughts from the last show?
Dude, wait, hold on. Let me address you. When I came up here last show, like I bent my head a little bit and I showed off my bald spot.
Right.
That was an introduction to me.
Right.
Like this bald spot was, couldn't you cut to the audience when my bald spot was showing? Like, come on, guys.
Editors, let's make a note of that.
Yeah, like next time when I bend my head, just cut to the audience and cut to a guy with like full head of hair. Just be like, hey, that guy has a lot of hair, right? And then like when I put my head up, this is the perfect time to get like a close up of me with my full hair. That it's good.
Peng, last time I talked to you, you were a virgin. Is that still the case?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I can't be famous for having like a bald spot right here, right?
Right.
Yeah, like what if this gets famous and the girl's like, ooh, this guy's pretty funny, but he has a bald spot on his head, and then that's a saying that breaks the deal.
Well, there's a saying that bald is beautiful.
Yeah, should I shave? Like, when should I shave?
I think you should take steroids and bald more. I think you'll attract a lot more ladies if you just juice up.
Yeah.
Buddy, I come from a small town. There's a lot of steroid people and they're doing very well with ladies.
But don't you have to work when you use steroids? You can't just sit on the computer with steroids, right? Like you gotta actually lift bars.
You do have to work out.
That's too much work!
It is too much work.
Steroid people, how do you do it, man? Like, how do you take steroid and lift bars at the same time? How can you afford that $20 gym membership? That's crazy.
No Halo involved with that.
Exactly, there's no Halo in the gym.
Peng, Christmas is coming up. What are your thoughts on Christmas?
I like it. I think the whole Jesus story is an immigrant story, you know?
Really?
Yeah, the whole like con artist idea, you know? Not that Jesus is the con, I'm just saying Joseph moved from Nazareth to, what is that other place called?
Netherist.
Nazareth, I don't know, what's that place?
Crowd, what is it?
Nazareth, yeah! He moved from Nazareth to Bethlehem just to born a baby, like I can relate to that.
You're moving from China and you're hoping to impregnate a Canadian.
No! Because my parents moved here when my mom was pregnant, just so I can get the citizenship.
So you're Chinese Jesus.
Yeah, no. If I'm Chinese Jesus, then like a lot of like Asians are Jesus too, because the healthcare here is great. So I'm just.
Well, according to the Bible, Jesus was a virgin at 33. So. How old are you?
28.
28. You got.
Yeah, but I can't turn water to wine. Yo, I can't turn water to wine.
I have the ability to turn coffee into Japanese scotch, so.
That is very racist.
I don't think
There's no Japanese scotch. It's called sake, John Gagnon. It's not Japanese. There's no such thing. There's no such thing.
Right there.
Oh, hold hold up. What's all this symbol? What is this symbol?
English.
Exactly. Suntory? That's not Japanese. It's Suntory, like Sun and the Tory government from the UK Parliament, right?
Yeah.
This is fake.
Okay.
Okay.
You're saying it's a knockoff?
I think it's a knockoff.
Do you think that there's a lot of knockoffs coming from places like China?
Yeah.
Do you think that's why when I said give me the Timbits, you brought McDonald's donuts?
Yeah,
Because you were like, close enough.
yeah, close enough. I didn't know what the bid was.
What about the Olympics? The Olympics are coming up, and a lot of Canadians are boichotting the Olympics. What are your
Yeah, I
thoughts?
think it's good that the Canadian government is protecting their athletes from going to Beijing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of pollution in Beijing. Like if you walk around, you get lung cancer and shit. That's dangerous.
But they're not protecting the athletes. It's a diplomatic.
Yeah, that's what they all say, right? It haven't snowed in Beijing for at least 10 years, okay? They're gonna make that fake snow, and then there's gotta be all this asbestos. Like, you know that asbestos thing? And it's all gonna be like what the snow is gonna be made from, right? Or you know.
You're telling me that China is going to make snow out of asbestos?
100%! Save money, right? That's why I bought those McDonald's Timbits. Justin Bieber Timbits is like $20. I'm not buying that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Peng. Guest is a touring national rock star. He's the lead singer of the band The Zolas. Can we get a big round of applause for Mr. Zach Gray?
Listen, John,
Yes.
I'm never gonna forgive you for making me follow the most charismatic guy that I've ever laid eyes on. There's no way that I can live up to the interview you just had with Robert Peng.
Well, you know, if you ever get the chance, you should listen to his podcast because
I intend to. I already put it in my phone.
it's an hour of what he did.
Of just that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But does it have you winding him up at the same time?
Sometimes I've done 2 episodes with him. One time we drank sake, I think it was called Red Star or something like that. What was it called?
Rice
Robert?
wine?
Rice wine, yeah.
Great.
You take 2 sips of that and
I've done it.
yeah?
Well, I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Take 2 sips and you start making plans you never will follow through.
He asked me to bring a vinyl version of it, and I did not. So there was supposed to be a show and tell, so you can see it, but it's like this incredibly colorful, looks like some sort of interpretive landscape, but nobody, I guess, like was listening. And then I mentioned it in passing a week ago that the image isn't a landscape at all. It's just a close-up of a photo of my dying toenail. I had just played this story gets weirder. I just played a 3-day ultimate tournament. That's Ultimate Frisbee. That's a punchline on its own.
He's laughing because
Yeah. I was waiting for that. In brand new cleats, and of course, you play in brand new cleats, there's an adjustment period, you're going to lose some toenails. And I was losing one, and for some reason, the display of colors on this particular nail I'd never seen a human body produce these kind of colors. And so I took a photo with my iPhone 3GS at the time. And
which was the advanced technology
yeah, it was state of the art.
at the time.
State of the art. And for the cover of the album, we just zoomed all the way in, so you couldn't really tell it was a toe. And we had our cover, and I thought that was pretty cool. And we left just enough cuticle around the border so that, like, once you're told it's a toe, you'll never unsee that shit. But if it's alone, if it's just you looking at it, you'll think it's nice. So I finally mentioned this, and people, let me tell you, people were shook.
Yeah, there's some memes out there.
Because there's some people who lost their virginity to that album, and there's some people who like have versions of that album like on their walls, and people. I've had you can't really draw it as a tattoo, but people have the album title as a tattoo, like loads of people. So it was a real adjustment period for some people.
Robert Peng, when you do lose your virginity,
Yeah, let me make some
Ancient
suggestions.
Mars.
Yeah, I could think of something better than Ancient Mars, but I would love to be involved in that event.
Maybe you can do it live?
Yeah, man. Dude, I will absolutely play your deflowering live, for sure. I'll waive every fee I have. I'll waive every fee I have.
Do you have any short songs? Funny thing that you said in the past. I mean, I played music, but I wasn't very good, and I played bass. And something that you had mentioned is, I mean, you're the lead singer, and I would love to be the lead singer. And then you had mentioned that you would almost prefer to be the bass player.
Being the lead singer is so much work. Yeah, I'm with Robert. I avoid work when I can. And the problem is, you idolize lead singers when you listen to music, and so you think you want to be that. But then once you actually go and do it, you realize that you can't really have fun when you're the lead singer, because the show pretty much hinges on you not sucking. If you're just the bass player like John, you can go out the night before, you can do every drug you've ever heard of.
Okay.
You can not sleep. You can scream over music all night long and wake up the next morning feeling just awful. You can feel like absolute dog shit and wake up and be on death's door and play every bit as well as you would have if you were healthy. Whereas me, when you're singing, it's like your voice goes as the first symptom of getting sick. So all I have to do is just get a stiff breathe. Honestly, this one time I was in Toronto, it was kind of cold, and I rode a bike. I rented a bike and rode it 10 blocks, and that screwed up. There you go. And that screwed up my voice alone. It's just no fun. It makes you a prima donna.
You said you rode a bike and it screwed up your voice?
Yeah, because cold air. I'm serious. I know this is really lame. It turns you into such a prima donna that you learn things about your body that you wish you'd never known, because if you huff cold air for 10 blocks, your voice sucks for the next 5 days.
We were talking one time about touring, and when we talked about it, I was like, what's the rock and roll lifestyle? And I was expecting all of the puss thrown at him.
No.
And apparently it's not that at all. It's but you said it's a monk.
No. I don't say. I didn't say that. There wasn't. There's opportunities abound, but.
What a polite way of saying that.
I think what it is just when you're on tour, you're on such a tight schedule that in order to take advantage of those opportunities,
right.
It takes lots of work. Am I right, Robert? It's just not worth it, man. You gotta sacrifice sleep. You finish the gig at midnight. You got a lobby call the next morning is at 8:30. That's only 8.5 hours to meet the person, have any kind of rapport, go back to hopefully her place because you're sharing a room with your bass player.
Who's doing all the drugs.
Yeah, you got no problems. It's just there's a logistical nightmare, and it's just not worth it. So I'm pretty much celibate the whole time. Yeah.
Robert Peng loves
Robert Peng loves it. Yeah. We have a lot in common.
So you mentioned earlier, I've been really getting into your music since I found out you're going to be coming on the show. Is there any chance that you can play a song for us today?
Now?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why not? You guys would like to hear a song?
No.
What, did you bike here?
I didn't.
Miss Mythical, she's like the Wailing Wall. I pass her notes.
Thank you, John.
Honey, it's alright. When the arrows volley down, will you stand with me? Build a fire out of pages and magazines. Someone like you don't come around every dynasty. A schooner, that's what you are. Top of the class, top of the field, futurist. All the headhunters got her name on their lips. Yeah, she's the spine to our body of friends. That incandescent girl of incandescent. When the arrows volley down, will you stand with me? Build a fire out of pages of magazines. Someone like you don't come around every dynasty. A swooner, that's what you are. That's what you
There's a bit of a story here. About 5 or 6 years ago, I was working for the Brett Martin Show, which is like a punk rock version of a talk show. Because it was always my dream to run my own talk show. And so I took any gig I could, and Brett Martin was kind enough to hire me. And one of the writing sessions was a late night session at Brett's place, and it was myself, Brett, and a comedian named Matt Billon. Now, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think we had about 4 pots of coffee and 100 joints. And every joke I came up with, this guy, Matt, who I'd never met before, was just hammering down way better punchlines than I could ever imagine. But he was so nice about it that after a while, he started sort of setting me up for jokes. And then after the show, you know, we were outside, we were walking away, and he said, you know, what's your purpose of writing for the Brett Martin Show? And I said, well, I'd like to have my own talk show one day. And Matt said, well, you're very funny, and if you ever, you know, do your own talk show, I would love to be a guest on the show. And that was a big deal for me because Matt Billon is one of the greatest Canadian comedians ever. Unfortunately, Matt lost the battle with mental health a couple weeks ago in late November. And he was supposed to be our stand-up comedian for the show. And it's with a heavy heart that we bring up. This is a quote from our next guest on the show. I lost not only a friend, not only a colleague, not only someone I consider a family member, but the world lost one of the greatest human beings on earth. Big round of applause for Mr. Ryan Lachance.
Hiya, people. Don't worry, I made sure that my wheelchair was waterproof just in case I started to cry. But then they told me they were gonna lapel me, so I'm gonna electrocute myself. Which will be awesome because maybe my legs will kickstart and I can actually take a step for the first time in my life. And then I'm gonna purposely get pulled over by the cops when I go home just to try and walk in a straight line. It'll be awesome. You know, I love doing stand-up comedy because lots of weird stuff happens when you're doing shows. Like, for example, we saw an improv act when the show started. And the last time I saw an improv act was when I was 14 years old in drama class, and Brittany Edwards showed me her boobies. So Robert, I win, motherfucker. All right. And I also learned that improv turns me on. It's really weird. I was really worried about when John told me the show was recorded for television because my wheelchair has body image issues, and I heard that the camera adds it 10 pounds, so I too am not only going to have to go to therapy, but I'm going to have to visit my mechanic after the show. But I love being a stand-up comic. I've toured with Matt for 16 years. We toured all over North America, and I was the one comic that he trusted with his weed, because he figured if I carried it and we got busted by the cops, no one's gonna bug a guy in a wheelchair. So, and I actually tested that theory a few years ago. We're in Calgary, outside, sitting in a snowbank, because it's Canada, and it's always goddamn winter. So, okay, he was sitting in the snowbank. I was sitting off the snowbank because I'm in a wheelchair, I'm not stupid. We're smoking a joint, and as we were smoking it, a cop rolled up and put the spotlight on me, and I was like, what do I do? And then I look at Matt, and I'm like, officer, he's trying to make me smoke weed. Needless to say, Matt got arrested, and I had to do 2 hours of comedy, so. It was the best night of my life. But the pandemic has been really weird, because I couldn't really do comedy anymore, and I can't do a TikTok dance, because, let's face it, they're stupid. So I had to learn how to, market myself to do other things for money. And one of the things that I watched a documentary about this elephant in Thailand that they taught how to paint. And then they sold the painting for $2 million. And I was like, who bought this? And then I realized it was an old white person. Totally made sense. And then I thought to myself, what do I have to do to stick a paintbrush in my left hand that looks like this and acts like this to make it look like an elephant painted it? The answer is not much. That's what it is. I didn't get $2 million, but I always got enough to pay my mortgage for that month, so it was good. Sorry, Grandma. She bought the painting. Speaking of my grandma's 85 years old now, and we like to hang out because we both like to use marijuana products because my grandma's awesome. And we like to get really high and watch Coronation Street. Because I might be disabled, but it's really the only time I understand a British accent is when I'm really high, because everything slows down, so it makes sense. Yeah. I'm really excited that Robert's here tonight because I want to talk to him about a Halloween costume idea I have next year. I'm going to build a cart for my wheelchair, get Robert to dress up like Mario, sit him on my lap, and we're gonna play Mario Kart. Because he's the only comic I know that's small enough that will fit on my lap, that won't make me more of a quadriplegic than I already am. So, that'd be perfect. And plus, I know all he does now, after his interview earlier, is play video games, so I know he'll be able to drive my wheelchair and I'll be safe. Okay, this is harder than I thought. I'm gonna be honest. I know a lot of you don't know me, but Matt was my best friend, and for a while, I was gonna quit comedy because I was like, fuck it, I don't even stand up. So like, why? You know. Come on, there's another guy in the wheelchair here, Mark. He thinks that joke's fucking hilarious. You guys. But honestly, Matt convinced me to keep going, and it made me realize something. And I just want to end it on this. If anything we've learned over the last 2 years, life's too short, and a lot of people are lost and confused because of the pandemic and they really don't know what to do with themselves. So if you have something that you want to do and you love, do it, because life's too short. And just love yourself enough to believe in yourself. My name's Lachance. It's been a pleasure.
Here we go to Ryan Lachance. We're gonna catch up with Ryan in just 1 minute. We'll be right back right after this.
Good to hear from you, buddy. I was literally just laughing about a day or two ago. Dolly Parton version of I Will Always Love You came on. And I thought back to Whitney Houston's version. And you used to do the boom and anyways, buddy. Fucking hope you're doing well. And thought I'd share that with you. Awesome, buddy. Peace.
So please welcome this Peter Hudson.
All right, how's everybody doing? Thank you, John. Wow. All I gotta say is this is a really shitty way to get stage time. Sorry. Matt Billon was my best friend, my mentor. Yeah, thank you. Great man. He used to call me Rocky to get me pumped up, man. He goes, "You remind me of Rocky." I was like, dude, my mentor, the greatest comedian I've ever met, is calling me Rocky Balboa. He's like, no, not Rocky Balboa. Rocky from that movie with Cher. The Mask. What's up with the long face, Rocky? That Rocky. Yeah, so good to be here at House of Comedy. Actually, the first time I ever did a show was here with Matt Billon and Jake the Snake Roberts. Yeah. Jake the Snake Roberts, a lot of fun. He ate a lot of Percocets. Oh yeah. We actually called them snake pellets. That one kind of stuck in there, so we'll talk more about that after. The other day, I caught a couple dudes taking their vaccination shots in the back alley. Oh yeah. They told me if you cook it up with a spoon, that you won't get blood clots. And they said they actually had eight vaccination shots the other day, and they're actually looking for more if anybody knows. Oh yeah, crazy stuff in my neighborhood. One time I looked out the window, and there was two homeless people having sex right in front of my house, like just giving her. And I didn't know what was weirder, two homeless people having sex in front of my house for 10 minutes, or me watching two homeless people have sex in front of my house for 10 minutes. Yeah, lots of fun. Yeah, Uncle Matty, my daughter's uncle. This is Matty's microphone stand right here. It's coming with me everywhere. Thank you. Yeah, another Uncle Matty. I recently became a father, guys. Thank you. Yeah, her name's Brittany. She's 17, lives in Fort McMurray. Got her before she started stripping, pretty proud of myself. No, I really do have a little 3-year-old daughter. Her name's Juniper, beautiful little lady. Yeah, went for a walk the other day. This guy almost hit us in a car. You know what the hardest thing about that is with a 3-year-old? Is getting them to stop saying, "Hey, asshole," for the next 3 days. Yeah, lots of fun. I'm just glad she's not 2 anymore. For the whole time she was 2, she'd call Buddha statues daddy. I'm like, Rad, I'm getting fat shamed from my 2-year-old. Sweet. No. I'm really gonna miss Matty. Man, we did lots of cool shit, toured all over Western Canada. Man, he was my favorite pot smoking buddy, you know? Like, that's the dude I smoked some weed with and just chilled and yeah, and oh yeah. Who here is happy that marijuana's legalized, decriminalized? I say hell no. The great Canadian bag of weed was the last thing in Canada that wasn't taxed. Right? And right? And really, do you want to watch a pothead and a pot dealer try to figure out 12% tax on a $40 bag of weed? You'd be there for 3 goddamn days. Eh? I love these dudes that work at dispensaries. You know, they think marijuana's this new wonder drug. They got a strain of weed that'll cure any ailment, except for a job and a high school diploma. You know? And they got weed that's so powerful now, so powerful. They have this one strain, you take one hoot, you're instantly homeless. Oh yeah. I love the names too, you know, you got your Kush, you got your Purple Kush, you got your Afghani Thunderweed, Cambodian Knee Shaker, you know? I always wonder, I'm like, why can't these names get a little bit more realistic to what's going on? Like back when you're like 15, why couldn't you get a bag of, oh shit, there's my dad. There's my dad. Or nowadays, why can't you get a bag, I can't find my keys and I'm late for work. You know? It's become so sophisticated, man. I'm an old boy, old and I'm a boy. The most sophisticated thing I've ever done was hot knives. Anybody heard of a hot knife? Yeah, take the 2 butter knives on the stove. You always had that one buddy that would get so stoned that he'd burn his lip, right? He'd have a perfect butter knife mark burnt on his lip. If you look really closely, it would say stainless steel burnt on his lip. I remember I did it, I was 17 years old. My mom's like, honey, what happened to your lip? I had to think really quickly. I'm like, Mom, I did it in welding class. That's it, welding class. She goes, well, that's it. I'm calling your welding teacher tomorrow. And I'm gonna ask him, why the hell are you doing hot knives in welding class? Oh yeah. You know what, marijuana's legal, guys. It is legalized now, so now that it's legal, I am gonna become a pioneer. And I am gonna open up the world's first cocaine dispensary. Hey? Wouldn't that be fun? We'll give it a cute little name like the White Spot. Hey? Maybe we'll call it Whose Line Is It Anyways? Hey, how about this? How about we call it Tim Snorton's? You always got time for Tim Snorton's. Roll up the bill to win. Hey? What's this? Try again? Okay. I'd have a theme night at my cocaine dispensary. I'm a dad now, I've been watching a lot of Disney, so I'd have a Disney theme night. Be a lot of fun, eh? Be like, hey, look over there, it's the Lion King. Jiminy Snippet in the mix. Hey, look over there, it's Pinocchio. I promise I'll pay you tomorrow. You guys, I'd like to thank you very much for being here. Matt Billon, I love you. You're my fucking hero. Excuse the language. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night. Thank you.
Obviously, Matt Billon had a big impact in all of our comedy careers. He gave me my first opening spot at the Comedy Mix, and I mean, he'll be missed. Do you guys have any stories about Matt that you'd like to share?
You want to go first?
Sure. I have lots of great stories. I toured with Jake the Snake with him for a month, which was a life-changing moment. Funny story is because we were in Strathmore, Alberta, and when me and Matt were big wrestling geeks, but people when we were with Jake the Snake, they just turned into little kids. And they're like, oh my God, Jake the Snake! So for the first week, we were just hamming it up, and I'd grab Matty and lift up his shirt and hold him like this. And Jake, I'm not kidding you, he's 6'8". He'd come across like 6 feet and just slap him right across the chest. Well, he slapped him so hard that Matt had like a foot-long handprint on his chest for like 3.5 weeks. And I would roast it, it like broke his blood vessels. It was crazy, and then he didn't want, and we were staying in the same room. And he didn't want to take his shirt off in front of me because I was like, every time he took his shirt off, I was like, Matt, I feel like I can't cross the street right now. just his hand, so.
Did you do the proper thing and woo after he got
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got another quick story. So when we were doing the first Laugh Shop tour in Alberta, which is amazing. When you're a new comedian, you go with a headliner and they take away. Well, we were driving from Nanaimo, and he goes, "What's Nanaimo like?" I go, "Well, I've learned after living in Nanaimo for 35 years that if somebody says the phrase, 'I got good dope,' they're generally a drug addict." Okay? So not even kidding it. Fast forward a week later, we're in the worst motel in Red Deer ever. We're staying in the same room, and I'm sitting in bed, and here, knock, knock, knock on the door, and there's this dude holding a TV. And he's like, "Hey man, would you like a TV?" And Matty looks at me, he's like, "Wow," he goes, "Your TV looks just like our TV." So there's a guy downstairs, and I'm not kidding you. It was like, you couldn't even write this. His neck grew like 3 feet, and he's like, "I got some good dope." And Matty's like, "Pete," man, we couldn't even, Matty's like, "What the hell?" So, yeah.
It's funny, I got a similar story. I was in the mean streets of Edmonton. And some guy was like, "You want a TV? $20. I was like, "All right, cool." And then I brought it home and plugged it in. It was the A&W menu. My man Ryan, how great was Ryan's set, by the way? If you're thinking about quitting comedy, you're wrong. You still got it. They were gonna give you a standing ovation, but they weren't sure if it was offensive or not.
It's always awkward, but I'll take it, so.
2021, we don't know what's offensive anymore, right? What do you got for stories, my man?
Well, I have a very similar story to fuck, I almost forgot your name, bro.
Thank you.
Peter. I was on the same set of shows with Jake the Snake for a lot of them, and one of the stories that Matt, when he was trying to convince me to do the show, he's like, he knew that I was a giant wrestling fan too, and he actually knew that Jake the Snake was my favorite wrestler as a kid, so he's like, "This is perfect, Ryan, you can do the show, you can meet Jake, it'll be awesome." And then he's like, "Plus, if he wants to do wrestling demonstrations, you're the perfect candidate because you can only feel half your body." And I was like, "Dude, I have cerebral palsy. I got full feeling. Do your research." And he still made Jake put me in a headlock, and I almost passed out, but it was awesome.
I got his dirty underwear in my face, so you got off easy.
Yeah. No, but Matt, just to show you what kind of person Matt was, and like I said, I toured with the guy for like 15, 16 years, and we went everywhere. Some good places, some not good, so good places.
You could just say Kamloops.
Yeah. I was gonna say Cranbrook, but yeah. Anyway.
Cranbrook's big, yeah.
Yeah, it is a shithole. Yes, you're right. But he always made sure that he, no matter if he was headlining or whatever, that I was the center of attention because he just saw the potential in people. And one prime example is just a few like months ago, I came to visit him and Tanya in Nanaimo, and he didn't tell me, but he's like, "Dude, I got you on a show." And like I said, I hadn't done comedy in like, a minute. It's been a long minute. And he's like, "Don't worry, you're only doing a little bit of time." So I'm like, "Cool." I get to the show, where the show's about to start, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, you're doing 45 minutes. Have fun." And then he pulls me in really close, and he goes, "Don't F this up."
Ladies and gentlemen, two of Matt Billon's best friends. Big round of applause for Peter Hudson and Ryan Lachance. We will be right back. Okay, guys, welcome back to the show. The next guest is a very unique guest. You may know him from your family endeavors, Christmas parties, birthdays, etc. Can I get a big round of applause for the elephant in the room?
I'm not the lead singer of a rock.
What's up? Hi.
If I needed, I could buy it. Chances are I already did. And I know you think it's clever, but I'll never wear that weird hairy naked upper body with pepperoni nipple barbecue bib. Just not gonna wear it. It's not a statement on you, I just don't like it. I said I'm well into my 30s. I don't need a stocking. And I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but you don't have to be a hawking. Whoa, to see that buying artisanal toothpaste is a waste just to fill a tube. With some other shit you found on Wish that I will never use. Never use. I just want cash. I just want cash. To make a stash, you could call it an advance. Any old amount, you don't have to count. I want cash. I'll take gift card, I'll take Venmo, prepaid Visa, even pesos, traveler's checks, or e-transfer, cause crypto comes in every size and coins are his and hers and theirs. They're his and hers and theirs. I just want cash. Cash, cash, cash. I just want cash. Cash, cash, cash. To make a stash, you could call it an advance. Any old amount, you don't have to count. I want cash. Cash, cash, cash. I just want cash. Cash, cash. Bring it down with me. I just want cash. Cash, cash, cash. I just want cash. I just want cash. Also socks, because I don't like buying socks. Always losing socks.
Big round of applause for the elephant in the room. You will see him at your Christmas parties, your family dinners, and everywhere all year. We'll be right back. I know you're an elephant, but you clearly got a camel toe.
Yeah, it's the holiday season. I'm putting it on. If I needed, I could buy it.
Oh my God, are we lucky to have this next guy. He is booked solid right now. Without further ado, can we get a big round of applause for Santa Claus?
Yeah, that one right there, Santa.
There's one here.
That's the one, Santa. Is it on?
Hello.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, good. How are you all doing? Are you excited about Christmas? Are you excited about Christmas? Oh, me too. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time. Hello, I like that hat. It's a good-looking hat.
Wonderful hat. We all got them.
Now, do you have any questions for Santa?
Do we have any questions from the audience?
Oh, there's always questions.
For Christmas, Santa Claus.
What are you going to get for Christmas? What you're supposed to tell me?
What is the most popular gift request this season, Santa?
Oh, probably Paw Patrol or LOL. One of those things they... You know, Santa knows his way around these sorts of things. Doesn't like to carry coal. It's heavy. Coal is very heavy. Prefer toys. Blitzen likes coal. Blitzen, oh, he loves to work out. He's a bit of a gym rat, the Blitzen. He puts them through their paces.
Does Blitzen do drugs?
No, of course not.
I feel like you'd be on some speed or something.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, performance-enhancing drugs. No, we don't need that. Rudolph is off at rehab right now as we speak.
Now, Santa, I'm super...
Had a bit of an ego problem. Rudolph, he had the one song. He got the one song and then turned it into a movie, and now I can't book him.
So
of
Rudolph...
course, he's turned to the, you know what I mean.
Rudolph's a prima donna?
Well, he's a showboat, that's for sure. One night, one foggy night, I regret using him. Blitzen's much better.
Santa, so every time
Blitzen puts them through their paces.
Santa, every time I see you, you know what I always think is, like, how do you handle the stress of a screaming baby?
Oh, well, you know, they fall asleep. There's a lot of COVID babies. Oh, I've sat and did pictures with probably a dozen babies under the age of 3 months. They're tiny, and they fall right asleep. Just lie down on Santa and go, well, this reminds me of something familiar. They're gone.
What is your favorite part?
The worst ones are done.
What's your favorite part of the holidays?
My favorite part of the holiday is Boxing Day, of course. Can be a bit exhausting out there, you know what I mean? All these children and their parents.
I mean, traveling around and going into all these houses, there must be some crazy stories. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened?
Well, the craziest thing, being in somebody else's house. Seems inappropriate right now.
I think I know what you mean.
All I'm saying is that, you know, Santa does get some, but he doesn't want it. Mrs. Claus didn't want to hear about it. She's very territorial, Mrs. Claus, and also she puts me on a diet. I don't know what gluten is, but I know it's delicious. Because after Christmas, there's no more gluten, and I don't know what the hell I'm eating.
What about all the mall appearances? What are they like?
Oh, I did the malls. It was a fucking nightmare. Oh, it was terrible. Oh, don't do the malls. It was terrible. Worked for a big corporation out of New Jersey. Cherry Hill was the name of the company. And, well, they paid well, but they didn't hire well. The helpers were, well, both of them were a couple of bitches I had to work with. You know, 18-year-old bitch, they're the worst. They're not pleasant at all. That's all I'm saying. It's the mall. You get what you pay for, and so when you get a helper from the mall, you know they're going to be probably a bit of a bitch. That's a bit of advice there. Yes, John. Anything else? Any other questions?
I think questions from the audience. Does anyone from the audience have a question
yes.
for Santa Claus?
Did you kiss my mom?
I believe that whole thing was consensual.
Anyone from the audience? Any questions?
What do you want for Christmas?
What a kind thing to ask. What a kind thing to ask. Well, I'd like a woman that's not batshit crazy.
Like my mom, right?
Well, I'm telling you, Mrs. Claus, she's in and out of the hospital all the time for some sort of mental illness. Anyway, it's unpleasant. Bothersome when they can't, they live in other universes. Imagine being married to Santa and that not being fantasy enough. Go off somewhere else. I don't know Santa. Anyway, any other questions?
Will Blitzen be back for this holiday season?
Blitzen, what are you talking about? I'll be back. Blitzen's solid. He's always there. Oh, Blitzen. What is it? What did you say?
Blitzen's in rehab.
Oh, no, that's Rudolph. I don't know what's going on over there.
Because of the red nose?
Blitzen never touches the stuff. Maybe some steroids, that's what it. Anyway, not personal questions about Blitzen. Don't get... Anyway, where were we?
My favorite reindeer.
Why was that?
Who's your favorite reindeer?
Blitzen.
Besides,
We seem to be in a bit of a circle here.
we're in a bit of a Blitzen mood.
Is
These
there
fellas
anyone
have
less-
a lot to drink, so.
Is there anyone less stupid that would like to ask a question? Someone who's not stupid?
Can you list a few people?
I think that disqualifies you right there. Now, what were you saying?
You have to get vaccinated to deliver presents.
Oh. Well,
That's two questions, both at once, both very
I
different.
understand the Amazon thing. Oh, they always want to talk about the Amazon thing. Well, I'll tell you something. Santa will not be spending all his money to fly to the moon. He won't be doing that. Jeff Bezos is a bit of a jerk, don't you think? What about Robert Peng?
Is he on the Is Robert Peng on the naughty list?
Oh, he wishes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll end that show there. This has been This Month Tonight, the December edition. If anyone wants photos with Santa, come on up after the show. None of this is possible without our writers, our camera crew, our sound, and without the audience. A big round of applause for yourselves. Merry Christmas. Don't drink and drive and listen to Women Do West. Yeah.